Following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
This is the Players Lounge, broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now your hosts, Barry Church, Hek'ma Harrison, DeMontre Moore, and Newy Scruggs.
Yo, Players Lounge here in the house. You got my man Hek'ma Harrison in the house. Wearing that fresh Dallas Cowboy gear. Looking good with the royal blue hoodie on. We got Trey. My boy Trey Moore. Go ahead, flash that burnt orange on you, boy.
Always coordinating.
Hook 'em, Aggie.
Don't ever forget it. Y'all know where it is. It's Aggies forever.
Hey, baby, what you showing?
Came in here right.
What you showing? Right. Getting that Sark love. Got Barry Church.
What's happening?
Toledo Rocket here. I am merely Newy Scruggs here to help facilitate the conversation. All right, guys. Combine time is here, and I've never been.
I love it.
Never been. Nope.
You never?
No. First off, it's cold in Indianapolis.
It is.
I'm trying to be cold. And I've just never worked for a station with the resources where they say, "Hey, we want to go to that." So, it's just not my thing. But is the combine, in your opinion, useful?
If you're talking about, for the guys that are, in my opinion at least, if you're talking about the guys that are first round, top 10 type picks, the only reason they would go up there is basically to do interviews, in my opinion. Talk to the coaches, let the coaches pick their brains, see type of personality these guys can bring. Are they a franchise type guy? But the drills for those type of guys, I don't think they're going to hurt or gain any draft stock by doing that. Now, when you're talking about guys in my instance where I was an undrafted guy, or those, third day guys, 4th, 5th round type of guys, it's big for them, in my opinion, because you can go out there, and even though a 40-yard dash is not what you see in the NFL each and every down, like you got 10-yard bursts here and there, nobody's really just running a straight line 40 when you're playing in the National Football League. If you go out there and impress the scouts with those crazy numbers, workout warrior type numbers, because everybody looks good in shorts, then you can improve your draft stock. So for guys that were like in my instance, undrafted type guys, like I said before, 4th round through later, I think the combine can be huge for them. But for guys that are bona fide first picks, you're just going up there to interview and basically chop it up with the coaches, in my opinion.
It definitely is. I mean, for me, I was one of those guys that got invited to the combine. And unfortunately, I went from being projected number 1, number 2 overall pick to going into the 3rd round. I say that to say that I got to see the hype of everything going into there, having interview day in and day out to meet with all 32 teams that you have there. And so for me, it's not as pivotal as what it once used to be, where everybody competed and stuff like that. We are in the new day and age of where you said, if you're a bona fide first round pick, if anything, you're going out there hurting yourself. Like if I knew what I knew now, I feel like my class was the class that set the stone. Jarvis Jones was the first guy to say, hey, go check the film. Like, it's already, the proof is in the pudding. And you had guys like me that was like, hey, if I knew I wasn't going to test well like that, I should have said, hey, rely on my film, because my numbers were the best one by far as a DN. So for it to be that day and age now, why go out there and hurt your money, your stocks? Because like you said, when you go out there, it's cold, you're doing all this. For guys that have played in warm weather climate their whole career and don't know the nuances of warming up properly, being young and stuff like that, you risk tearing a hamstring, doing all that stuff. So it doesn't build money. But like you said, for the guys that are the later round draft pick, this is definitely going to build some money, because you don't do a 40-yard pick. Can
you build more on that for the listening audience about how you feel like, hey, I was here and I left there lower?
Yeah. So for me at the time, I was hurt. I was a hurt puppy. But like now going back, I realized where I made my mistakes. Like, am I mad about getting hurt there? And when I say getting hurt, this is pretty much the first wake-up call for all these guys that are going out there to understand that you have meetings, you have to be on time, you have to be accountable. It's no longer somebody knocking on there, that class checker saying, hey, check in right now and do this. You have to show up early, and then on top of that, you have to know your body and know that, hey, I have to properly hydrate. And the fact that this is a cold weather climate, I'm going to have to go out there maybe 30 minutes early just to warm up to be a a powerful, explosive guy, and just for you to be quick twitching, go like that, peanut brittle don't just stretch. It cracks right there if you do it with too much force and velocity. So for guys like me now, knowing what I know now, I wasn't properly prepared. I didn't have those nuances. I didn't have the mental maturity to learn those things. And so going in that time, you don't think about it like that. If you all you think about is like, how good did I do on those interviews? And if you tank it, if you hear that your draft stock is dropping, if you don't have the mental fortitude or a great circle around you, you can't bounce back from that. And we see guys that slip all the way to the draft where you're like, hey, this was supposed to be a second round pick. Where do you go from there?
Let me add just one more last thing on. Where does the agent play in this process? When you talked about nobody knocked on the door, nobody told you to get warm, where does the agency and the group of people you're working with play? Especially since you talk about, hey, I went in here looking like I'm going to be a first or second round draft pick. That means the agency's got to know there's some money tied to Trent.
Agency comes into play. It's just like anything. Like this is who's representing you. This is going to be the first time that the team gets a chance to actually get to know you, and whoever you're sending in there on your behalf has to know you, know who you are as a person and a personality, to know how to sell you better. When they have those questions of like, because the first thing they do is they have a long sheet that they go in there and they say, okay, he does this on the field, but then also guess what? We got all our investigators to go get these reports. Is this guy this? Is he that? And it's going to be your agent to fight for you. And if he doesn't truly know for you, he can give you the bubble wrap cookie cutter answers and say, oh, he's this, he's that. We got him volunteering. But if he truly knows you, that's where he can sell you. That's where those guys in the front office that respect your guys to say, hey, take a chance on this guy. Like, if there's some character issues, your agent's going to come in there because it's like a cake. The cake is already there. You're putting the icing on it right now when you go to the combine and doing these interviews. But then your agent is just the sprinkles. He can enhance the cake or he can make the cake a lot worse than what it is. So picking an agent is very important so he can express to you, though. But also with knowing you, he can put the parameters in line to say, hey, man, make sure you have all these alarms set so you're not late for these meetings. Hey, man, I talked to this team. They're worried about you, and they heard that you have an attitude, but they love your attitude. Can you show up here? So guess what? Make sure you show up earlier here so that way you can show them like, hey, I've heard what's going on, and this is how I'm fixing it. So if your agent has those inner workings in the system and knows what's going in, he can kind of help coach you up before then to fix your flaws. So it's a big part of it.
And the agents is kind of getting a little bit of phased out now. When you talk about, I'm talking about those guys that are top 5, top 10 type of picks, because now everything's slotted. Like when you get drafted at X pick, you're getting X amount of money. Like there's no negotiation up and down. You're getting X amount of money. So if you're one of them top guys coming out, would you? I don't even know if I would have an agent in that situation because I'm like, I don't want to give this guy another 2% when I'm already getting the money no matter what.
I wouldn't want. Me personally, knowing what I know now in the business and stuff like that, if I have somebody that's business savvy, go get me a lawyer and I'm locked in 5. Of course, yes, I can do that, and potentially I could start somebody else's career. We see Jalen Hurts, we see all these other guys that have done it, but for those guys that are third round and below, you need an agent. You 100%. Need that guy. Like for me, I had the same agent, which is very rare. My whole 12-year career of playing professional football, Joby Brain, like I knew that Joby knew the workings on the inner workings of the system and talking to people, and he was able to say, hey, DeMontre, coming out, you have maturity issues, you have character issues as far as showing up on time and this and that. And then on top of that, my agent was strong enough, but I was so bullhorned, he told me not to run the 40. Like, he said, hey, don't do that. But I'm like, nah, this is how I can show. Like, I might not kill it in the interview, but I'm a competitor and I want to go out here and do this and do that. I went out there in the cold thing. Guess what? History writes itself. I tore a hamstring and all that, and he was like, I told you not to do it, but if I had listened to him, I could have did that. So that's why I'm saying your agent can potentially make or break you. So for those later guys, get your agent. But if you're not a first-round locked-in pick, parents, whoever is out here right now, if you're looking at me at the camera, go get an agent. Do not think that you can do what Jalen Hurts' mom did or Josh Daniels, the kid at the Commanders, his mom. You cannot do that because it's cutthroat back there. Like those people in the front, Lamar Jackson. I'm sorry. You can't. Everybody can't be those guys. Like you said, if you're a top 5, or first round locked in,
you good.
Yeah, you don't need that. But everybody else, you need it.
Hek'ma.
No, I just feel like, basically you gave a lot of great nuggets on what that process is like and a ton of intel. But I agree wholeheartedly with what you're saying, Barry, because I think that those guys that are in that first couple of slots, I think the interview process is so important for them. And back to what you were saying, DeMontre, but with having an agent or somebody that can absolutely take you through that process, I just go back to Dez Bryant and with some of the stuff that he went through with Miami in his interview and uncalled for questions, but I think it's something to draw you off sides. How do you deal with that? And you're going to deal with it with the press anyway, right? Yes. But with all the years, and for me, man, as being a fan of the game and watching the combine, I've gone through and seen the Tony Mandridges, that the guys that get drafted based off of how they bench press and and all those things, and then you see a guy come out and broad jump or run a great 40 and his stock goes up, and then he comes into the league and he performs well. I mean, the Cowboys got a guy like that. Byron Jones, right? Byron Jones. And I mean, and he may have been overlooked in that situation because of the small school guy, but then you see the explosiveness, you see the build, and you say, oh, this is a guy that can fit into our culture. And so I look at the scouts for the Dallas Cowboys, the head coaches for the head coach for the Dallas Cowboys, and just looking at those guys that are going to fit Coach Schottenheimer's system, his culture, what he's building, get an opportunity to get these guys behind closed doors and ask those very important questions about your upbringing, who you are. Now, for me, DeMontre, when I think about a grown man and this plays football, that this is your dream, I should not have to have nobody knock on your door to get your behind up for the money. You know what I'm saying? For everything that is there. And I get it. Yeah. I think when you come from a situation, especially from high school to college, where people are already catering to you, then that's another thing. But I'm just talking about the responsibility of being a professional athlete, because it goes from the collegiate level to the pro level, and now you have to raise. And I'm living in reality, and I'm living in the reality of the situation. And I think those are some of the things that when guys do become pros, that you say, oh my God, I mean, you're making $20 million a year. You mean you can't show up to meetings on time? That's a normalcy in the media when you're dealing with NFL athletes.
And all I'm gonna say is I agree with you wholeheartedly on all those sentiments. When you become mature enough to understand that, but you got to remember, you're playing a child's game for a king's ransom. A lot of these guys and kids, for me, right? Let's just take me an example. I'm going to use me, but I was 17 years old going into college, going from there, having that stability, having a TA, a coach's checker and stuff like that. Like, I was oriented and focused and driven on that, but I didn't realize, like, scholarships is every year. Like, this is doing that. Plus, I'm the top guy. Like, you take it for granted because they cater to you when it comes to college. Some of these guys, this is the first real awakening. The guys that are mature enough are the guys that I think that are able to come in and hit the ground rolling, unless you just have everything catered to you. Like, I'm not going to even say certain players, but you know how you get drafted and they say, hey, we got to do all these things to line it up for you. The other guys, it's like when you're going in there doing that, like I said, they're used to that, and they don't realize that until they have that meeting, and then all of a sudden you go from a first-round pick of having a $21 million signing bonus to going to a third-round pick and only having $800K, and it's like,
that's a big difference.
It's a big difference. That's the hard.
That's before taxes.
So, heck, what you're talking about, I like to break it down. It's idealism and realism. Realism is, hey, man, this is, ideally, hey, you would be on time for meetings. No, this is it, because this is the way it works in the real world. But the realism of what Trey is talking about is, hey, man, your habits and rituals that have started since you were in college and people were here doing this, you spend 3-4 years like that, and now you just, hey, man, go handle it.
Yes.
It's easy to miss it as a young person. And I know at times I have to make sure when I'm sitting here doing these shows and talking, Newy, you're now a person who's been down the road here, seen stuff, I'm old enough, I tell people, man, I saw Kobe come in as a rookie and play 20 years. I mean, that thing, I have to realize, man,
it's different.
These are kids. And I know I forget it all the time.
It's layered, and what we're talking about is very nuanced. And I'm basically talking from a standpoint of, you've seen the Mannings and you've seen people come into the league that handle their business. All I'm saying is, and I don't want to get into too deep a conversation about those things.
Of course.
I'm just saying that the combine to me is the opportunity for guys to compete, show who they are, go in there and shine in the interview process. I'm with you. I'm a top 10 pick. I don't have to go out there and run the 40, okay? Because the tape is already going to speak for me. But there are guys out there that can definitely benefit by showing strong character, showing, being very good, and they don't have to be articulate, you know what I'm saying? But come on now, don't call the interview cuz. Go out there and handle your business. Do exactly what you need to do so you can improve your draft stock. Because what DeMontre is talking about, if you're going from a $10 to $15 million signing bonus to then a $800,000 signing bonus, I think it behooves your agent to make sure you get your behind up and get down there and be ready to go.
It does, and that's what the good
agents he getting that money too.
So,
Facts.
And you're saying this in the context of football. But, man, I'll tell you, just in my industry, when I deal with these kids, man, some simple things you would think would happen don't happen. And so we look at ball players and we want to put them here, but damn it, you start looking at these kids right now across any profession. Well, what you doing? How you showing up like this? I mean, I had two people.
Get it.
Two people, okay? Their job as interns was to log the baseball game. So it's the Pirates and the Rangers in Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
Our show goes on at 6 o'clock. The game started at 6:05. I said, well, one of you can go ahead and take lunch, or somebody else watch the game. These two ladies told me, now we want to go together. And we trying to leave now. So who's going to log the game?
Exactly.
I'm just let me go. Go on. I just sat there and logged it. And now this is you telling me this is your dream, this is what you want to do. We're trying, and it's just logged in the baseball game. Bro, they don't do it. One time they logged the game and logged it from a Pirates perspective.
And
I don't care about the Pirates. We should talk about the Rangers. But heck, so just going back to what you're saying, man, it's not just these ball. It's kids in general who don't really see the opportunity the way you and I were very different people who saw this like, man, this shit.
Yeah.
A lot of folks, man, when you talented like that, and you know this, Trey, you played with some guys. Hey, man, nothing you could have told them you couldn't correct them on nothing.
There's nothing that you can correct them on because it's like you're going from college and like you said 3 or 4 years. Most, especially in this generation, like the social media, a lot of these guys have been superstars since Little League and stuff like that and been handed it. And so they're in the era of, hey, if you do good enough here, it don't matter what you do over here, show up late here, do that. Like, you can do all that.
Somebody got to ball out.
And this is going to be the first real awakening for a lot of people to where they get up and they get down. Because like you said, y'all two were different when y'all were younger like that. And typically the guys that are younger and have that type of mindset, those are the guys that we see excel. The Byron Jones, he was one of the smartest and most calculated people that I know, but he was athletic. And he said, hey, I'm using this to leverage myself to be a first-round draft pick, to have a long career, get paid. Aaron Donald leveraged that. Like, those are the guys that become great.
We got to get a break in here. Let's get a break in here. We got to go address an issue on the offensive line and go around the table, see what should this young man be playing at a position next year. We'll do it next with Barry Church, Trey Moore, Hek'ma Harrison, Newy Scruggs, Players Lounge, brought to you by Aristocrat Gaming on DallasCowboys.com.
Hey there, Cowboys Nation. Kyle Yeomans here, sharing that same team that brought you Buffalo, bringing NFL casino games that show America's team on and off the reels. Aristocrat is changing the game with a new experience. Football fans, this means you can pick your team and play your team. Check out the Cowboys-themed casino games developed by Aristocrat, a proud sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. Gambling problem? Please contact the U.S. National Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-GAMBLER. That's 1-800-GAMBLER for 21 and over.
Dallas Cowboys Game Day is brought to you by Captain Morgan, the official spiced rum of the NFL. The NFL season is full of legendary tales on and off the field. And when you follow the captain within you, stories become stuff of legends. So gather your crew and visit followthecaptain.com to begin your adventure. Please drink responsibly. Captain Morgan Original Spiced Rum, 35% alcohol by volume. Captain Morgan Rum Company, New York, New York.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the Playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
Raising Cane's presents the other rules of football. Rule 1, any broadcast without the express addition of cooked-to-order Cane's chicken fingers is prohibited. Rule 12, no crinkle-cut fries, Texas toast, or craveable Cane's sauce constitutes an illegal formation. And Rule 31, anybody who loves to feed their game face is an eligible receiver of Cane's. When it comes to winning game day, Cane's rules. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love. Go Cowboys.
Back to the Players Lounge.
The most action-packed motorsport experience in the world returns to Arlington. Head to AT&T Stadium on Saturday, March 8th for Monster Jam. Get ready to cheer, scream, and be amazed as massive Monster Jam trucks take over Arlington. Tickets are on sale now at SeatGeek.com, the official ticketing partner of AT&T Stadium.
Saturday, Monster Jam.
I was about to say, get it. Tickets now. Go find them.
Grave Crusher. But he's bad. I think he's man.
Good time,
I love
boy.
it.
You go get a Coke from Kroger's and then go in there with a
And
discount.
like this big.
Man, hey, mama, we got a free ticket. Look, I got the soda right here. Couldn't wait.
Cold ass wedding.
Yeah, yes, sir.
My mama was going.
Barry Church, former Cowboy safety, Trey Wolf, former Cowboy defensive lineman, Guy Hek'ma Harrison here. I'm Newy Scruggs. Players Lounge brought to you by Aristocrat Gaming. Combine going on in Indianapolis this week. The Cowboys have 45 formal visits. You can meet with a player for 18 minutes in person, and right now they are scheduled to have 12 defensive front seven guys.
Yes, Lord.
Oh,
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Somebody listening.
Attacking the trenches.
Somebody listening. Somebody know.
important positions. Quarterback.
Somebody know.
To hunt the quarterback.
Trying to help Matt Eberflus is there. There's also reports that the Cowboys are meeting with quarterbacks.
Talk to me now.
So
What?
Trey Lance not coming back.
Wait a minute.
I think we all knew that.
Wait a minute.
Come on, don't do
Wait
that.
a
We all
second.
knew that was going to happen.
Wait a minute.
We knew
they
that was
meeting
going
with
to
who?
happen.
A quarter who?
Quarterback.
Horses?
Quarterback.
Horses in the stable.
I don't
Horses in the stable.
They have two quarterbacks who are free agents.
Mm-hmm, they do that.
Gotta have them so they can ride.
So a quarterback on a day, day 3.
Okay.
I can see it.
I see it. I see it. What you needed. You have two of them that are free agents that have proven that they are not the guys. One guy has proved that he's just the guy for a week or two. Like, come on now. Most good teams have two quarterbacks that can be a starter anywhere, and then you have that guy. No disrespect to Cooper, he's just a guy. No disrespect. He's had multiple chances to prove like. Okay, what has he done over his time? Has he not had multiple chances to start? Not just start 1 or 2 weeks, but start at least 4 to 5 weeks. And has he produced? Because those guys that have had those 4 to 5 weeks, let's go with a guy like Brock Purdy. He went and got the starting job. Let's go think even back to the guys before them. Nick Cullins and all those that were backups when they had that time frame, they showed where it was like, we need to go to that guy, get that. Jimmy Garoppolo, when he was at the Patriots, the few times that he got in there, you were like, he did enough to go do that. Has Cooper Rush did that where it said,
he has a winning record, right?
He has
a winning record, but has he showed you there's a difference between a winning record and a
But
that's my
you
guy.
call him just a guy, but in his spotlight time, and
No
there's
disrespect.
31 other teams that if they lose their starter and their backup has to play any significant time, they're going to finish with a losing record. That's the reason why you're the backup.
This is true, and so that's why I said let me backtrack. With him just being just a guy, he's proven here that he's just a guy. He hasn't proven that he can take the realms and go do that. And it's like, okay, what are we doing this? We're prolonging your career, and we could potentially go get younger talent, and somebody may be better. Like, come on now.
Well, there's other aspects to this as well. Number
It
one,
is. Money too.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not paying. Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not paying. Crazy money to be a backup.
There's money. Again.
Yeah,
Somebody out
I'm
there,
with you on that.
someone out there could say, based on the track record of what you've done, Cooper Rush,
We'll pay you.
We'll pay you. I mean, Lord knows he was better than anything the Raiders tried it out there.
And this is true.
And so if you're the Cowboys, if you don't have a plan that somebody else may say, hey, man, this guy can help us.
Yeah.
It could be Kellen Moore who decides, you know what, I'll bring him to New Orleans because if I got to deal with Derek Carr, I don't. So, I mean, that
that's crazy. He
could
got paid.
happen.
He did.
So you have to start to say to yourself, what are the what ifs? And, oh, by the way, what do I want to pay him? But most off, and this is just a hardcore truth, guys.
Mm-hmm.
You look at Dak Prescott's playing availability the past few seasons.
It's up.
You have better look
Gotta find
at the
somebody.
position. And they do interviews and not draft anyone. You got Cooper Rush as a free agent.
You definitely
You got
do.
Tony Romo as a free agent. So
Who? You just
Tony Romo.
Okay. No, my bad. No, I'm sorry. I thought you was calling Trey Lance Tony Romo. I'm sorry. I thought we were going down the list.
You jumped ahead of yourself.
Yeah, I was like, what? I'm sorry.
Oh, wow.
I misunderstood Newy. I jumped the gun.
Hey, back in the racing
That's my
block.
fault.
Back
This is my bad.
They joined the police.
Okay, so hold on.
Shot Newy? Oh.
Can I put some pressure on him? If we had to say, because obviously you can't draft too many, you always need 3 quarterbacks. If you had to pick Cooper Rush or Trey Lance.
Cooper Rush
all day long.
all day.
Okay.
What's the
Exactly.
legacy?
That's why I say I didn't want to disrespect Cooper. Like when I say just the guy, it's like, hey, I think he's played enough to go get paid somewhere else, but I don't think he's paid. I don't think he's done well enough to get paid here to sit for the money he's going to demand.
Yeah, I'd rather go get somebody
like go get that young guy,
Trey Lance.
Trey Lance. I'm kind of letting.
What
you
is
talk,
his
my boy.
legacy here in Dallas?
What
he
He's a
did?
practice squad.
He was a practice squad guy.
Okay. I just want to know. You traded a 4th for him. I just want to know.
You
took a shot. I mean,
you take a shot.
You took
but
a shot.
It don't stick. What they say, we're just throwing darts at the wall. We're just trying to get ideas. That wasn't a good idea.
Right. You took a
That
shot,
stuck.
and it didn't pan out to anything. You ultimately did sign your quarterback that you said you wanted.
Yeah.
So,
I think he did what he was supposed to though. Like he put a fire up under Dak to be like, hold on, we're going to go trade away to get a former 1st round pick. And, hey man,
Come on, Trey.
Come on, man.
It was a fire or a big lighter.
never mind. Hey, he got a little fire back there. He said, I caught a burn.
What?
They learned.
You had
It
Dak
worked
saying,
out.
oh, he's a good quarterback. What quarterback you ever seen in a quarterback competition give a compliment to? Never. Dak saw that and was like, man, y'all better run me my coin.
Man, right now.
You
All right, my bad.
help you out, Trey. Trey, I'm gonna help you out. Play right here. I really ain't worried about
Stop
you.
it.
We could have been once we saw
man.
that preseason game where he had all the reps. That's
Yes.
when we. That's what
It was a wrap.
That's what it was.
I hope he goes somewhere and ball, and then look back and be like,
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody gonna give
Easy
him
on
that
the
out.
hopium, big fella.
what is that? I love the underdogs. I love the underdogs. I love the underdogs. Back on track then.
I wouldn't be surprised if Trey goes and wins a championship.
Yeah.
In the back over, you talking about back and roll, right?
For the Renegades.
Got him out the league.
Out the league? What? Hold on, you're a 1st round pick.
Come on, dog.
History shows you being a 1st round pick, you got one more stop before you get to the other little leagues and other stuff like that.
And I truly believe this.
That boy said the renegade.
That's what I said.
You a dirty player, dog.
You got XFL, you got CFL, you went all the way to the Renegades.
Oh boy.
The Renegades are
That
now former XFL team that merged with the UFL. But when you start to think about, and this is just my opinion of where this league needs to get back to, you got dudes who need to play.
Facts.
Trey Lance, just the resume, what they drafted a guy who didn't play a whole lot, and you kept hearing McCarthy talk about it. This guy needs to play. When you saw Brad Johnson, who won a Super Bowl, you saw Jake Delhomme, who took Carolina to a Super Bowl, you saw Jason Garrett, who had a serviceable career, Kurt Warner. These guys all played in that World League. They played. These dudes need to play. The only way to get reps is to play because the Cowboys, what the most they give them? Preseason?
Yeah. And then you sit
The
on,
package,
and then you,
the Trey Lance package.
and then you sit pretty much, and then you sit on ice. Like that's why when we were, if you go back to the show and I was speaking for him, it's like you're doing him a disservice. Like you're saying, hey, we threw him out here just to see what he got, but he ain't played all season. He's not even motivated. You haven't even like had an inkling of doing that. And like for guys like myself I've been the journeyman. I played in the AAF before it crashed. I played in the CFL. Like Newy is right. Like, there are so many guys up there that can play, but just need the rep and need the coaching. And if you're not the starter, you're not getting coached into this league. In the NFL, you're coming in like it's now football league. You need to be able to play. And for some of those guys that you're drafting off those potential, yes, playing in these summer leagues and doing all these other things, go where your opportunity is, but don't put yourself out there to have bad film. So I agree wholeheartly when you say that.
Two of their best players, Brandon Aubrey and Kevontae Turpin, went to the US during the USFL
and balled out.
Turp MVP. Aubrey he kicked, and then to be able to go from the spring league, now it took a couple weeks off. Summer hits, you're ready to go, and I just think the coaches don't have time to. Hey man, Barry Church, I don't know if you ready. I need you to be here now.
They trying to win so they can get fired.
Right.
But I can think of one guy that is not to harbor on Trey Lance, and we can go to another topic, but one guy that he still can turn his career into being, because not saying that he can't come back and revive it, but Josh Johnson, think about him. How many times have he got cut and then he went and played in these other leagues, got the reps, took them to championships, and had the opportunity to where he's still hanging around right now. He potentially still might get a job this year because he wasn't sitting back and just saying, hey, I'm going to sit here and let everybody put me in this box. I love to play football. It's a pedigree. You're related to Marshawn Lynch. I'm here. Like, let me go ball out in these other leagues, show that I'm serviceable to at least come in and be a backup. And when y'all do play me, y'all like me enough to bring me back. The Ravens are talking about bringing them. All that.
Have, do not have, okay? Either you have it or you do not have it, okay? You've been given opportunities to excel in this league. You've been given quality snaps. They've taken the time to make sure that he understood the scheme here in Dallas. They gave him the preseason games, and you understood after that he did not have it. Whether you send him to another league, if he could correct the touch on his ball, timing, all of those things, God bless him. I'm just saying, as his time here, it was never going to work. All right, it wasn't. Come on, guys.
McCarthy said it time and time again. He just needs to play. And Mike McCarthy at the end wasn't trying to waste any time on Trey Lance because he was trying to win games for two reasons. One, to keep his job, or two, to keep his profile up so he could go get another job. And he looked at this, knew enough to say, man, this dude gonna kill me.
I ain't going down with you.
But that's where the player got thrown to the wolves. And that's what I'm saying. Go to another league.
But you go to the Renegades.
I get
Bob Stoops.
I don't think he needs to go to the Renegades, but I think he can go to the XFL or the CFL and do something.
The XFL is the USFL.
I mean the USFL.
That is, but I mean the USFL.
They're all the same league.
The USFL and the XFL merged, so it's now the UFL.
My bad.
So it's all
you're right.
All into one, and so the Renegades are part of it.
I was thinking of the arena team.
It's a guy that's made a lot of money too.
Yeah, my bad. That's why I thought you were going there.
We're out here to Arlington.
Okay, my bad.
Cooper Beebe, guard center. Where should he be? Let's debate that next right here on the Players Lounge Aristocrat Gaming, who sponsors us on DallasCowboys.com.
How do you tell the world about all the great gifts in the Yeti store? Let her rip, Troy.
All right, folks, let's get started with the Yeti French Press. Enjoy coffee that stays hot for hours in a French press. 34 ounce for you, 6'4" for the cruise. The Yeti French Press. Hot mix waterproof bags. Bags waterproof. Submersible waterproof doubles. Waterproof bags. World's mostly water, so get a waterproof Yeti bag. Do I smell something cooking? Oh, new cast iron skillets made to be passed down like Mama's recipes. Take your steak, cornbread, cobbers, pot pie, and potatoes next oval with 3 sizes of Yeti cast iron skillets.
Gear, gifts, and product experts. Visit the Yeti store on McKinney Street and at South Lake Town Square today.
Life is a workout, and Smoothie King is here to help you power through. Whether you're maxing out overhead presses, pushing through chest flies, or being the hero your golden retriever needs to carry them over that scary bridge, Smoothie King has the fuel to help you go all out. Build muscle and boost your recovery with 45 grams of protein, 0 grams of added sugar, and delicious customizable ingredients in the Gladiator Smoothie. Available in chocolate, strawberry, and vanilla. Only at Smoothie King.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the Playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. Newy.
Hey, Cowboy fans, I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. But lately, I've been learning a new game, crypto. Sound confusing? Don't worry, even us pros were rookies in crypto once. That's why I trust blockchain.com. They make crypto easy. No confusing jargon, just the tools to help you win.
Prescott keeps it, slides with a first down.
Invest like your icons, where everyone is a rookie in crypto with blockchain.com.
Perfect throw, my goodness. Wow, did he ever thread the needle.
Visit blockchain.com/Cowboys to get started.
Back to the Players Lounge.
Cowboys Nation, Dallas Cowboys United, presented by Globe Life, is now exclusively in the Dallas Cowboy app. Join the official fan club today to receive access to all the new Cowboy drop features, team news, and pre-sale access, and fan and kid of the game. Download the app now to join.
Thank you, Hek'ma Harrison. So we were cleaning things up in the break. The indoor league in Frisco, that's the Frisco Fighters.
There we go. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Frisco
I was
Fighters.
wrong on that.
Good team. Good team. My cousin Charles Williams played up there, but the
I couldn't
the Rough Riders.
Yeah. I couldn't take the coaching and drop the hints of what I was saying. They were correct.
The Arlington Renegades is part of the UFL, which plays over in Arlington.
Mm-hmm.
So they're out there as part of the group that The Rock and his former wife Danny Garcia own.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we have seen guys from that league, Brandon Aubrey, Cavante Turpin, come from there. Wade Phillips was coaching out there.
Yep,
he's over there at the San Antonio team. They almost won the championship.
Ain't no way Trey going over there, man.
Why not? You don't think he gonna go over there?
He done made too much bread, man.
That's his pride.
That's what I'm saying. He done made too much.
But that's what I'm saying.
Top 3 pick.
If you can take your
bench $5 million.
You got
Taco, go pay for.
You got Taco Johnson that's over there playing right now and loves it. Like, that's a pride thing. If you take that away and you love football, if Trey Lance loves football, he will be over there and he will be playing. If he don't love football, then obviously you were in it for the money. As simple as that.
Speaking to what you're saying, this is just my guess. If this free agency comes around here and he's sitting out here without a deal, then what do you do?
I just don't. You think he's gonna go down?
Go do it. If you want to play
and
football,
play for a 16th of what he made in the league.
That's the thing about it, though, and that's the difference that Trey has over other guys. That's what made it easier for me to make that transition when I went over there. Like, did I feel like, I should be playing in the league and stuff? Yes, I did. So guess what? Every time I went out there, I punished them and showed them, like, I am a man amongst boys. But what also helped me is that I played in the league. I had that financial cushion to where I can go get a massage, and most of those guys are not getting massages. Most of those guys don't know how to properly take care of their body. So I'm treating myself like I'm still in the league while also showing them what they potentially could be doing, what could take their game to the next level, and showing those guys, like, it's not about just showing up and going here and going home and playing the game and hoping that we get a shot. No, we need to go in here and stretch. We need to do that. And because I had that money, I was able to fly down massage therapists for other guys to help our team be dominant. And Trey Lance can go do that. On top of that, you get the experience to play. You show that you have leadership qualities and showing the organization how to build a leadership format. On top of that, you get your skills and you just evolve as a player. So technically, it is the best thing for him to go do right now. But if your pride's in the way and you sit there and you say that I'm above this, football is football at the end of the day. When we strap up that helmet, all the same risks happen, all the same rewards happen. Going to get a championship or not.
He's talking benefits, you're talking price.
Yeah.
And at some point in time, the benefits have to outweigh the price. Because if you ever want the price again, without the benefits, it ain't going to happen.
It ain't.
Yep.
Hek'ma Harrison, Kansas State guy. Cooper Beebe, never played center at all. Cowboys threw him out there. Had struggles last year. He was an All-American, consensus All-American for the Wildcats. His former college coach is here. He spoke about how Beebe's played all along the offensive line, and we did ask him, are you considering moving him back to guard where he was an excellent player, or you do leave him at center? He kind of left it open. What would Hek'ma Harrison do?
Now we get an opportunity to talk about a guy that have.
Yeah.
Let's talk about a have. All right. Is there such a thing as sweat equity? Is there such a thing as a guy that has already put in the time to show you that he can be a center in this league? It's not that he showed you through playing a position that he wasn't previously playing in college. But I think it wasn't all pro. It wasn't Pro Bowl, but he showed you coming from where you had let go previously of Tyler Biadasz that he filled in nicely, right? He was next to a tackle. He was next to a guard that really helped him out tremendously. 2 guards, and Zach Martin obviously now retired. My stance on this, and even looking at Brock Hoffman, who was a center, and then complete role reversal for both of these guys. But Hoffman showed me that he can be a guard. If you didn't have that, and depending on where the Cowboys are thinking as far as the draft, now if you have an all-world center that's going to fall to you in those first 2 rounds, now my thinking is completely different, all right? But right now, as I sit here right now, I say that Cooper Beebe is your starting center. And I think that's one less thing for you to have to concentrate on, because now all I'm looking at is either left tackle, or right guard as an option.
Me, myself, I'm not about to sit here and say that I'm so coerced in all these guys. I'm aware of them, but I had to go do my research. What he said, I had to go put ears in.
Google's your friend, bro.
No, not Google. I had to go to the sources. I like to go to players because that's who's going to tell you if they're studying film and stuff like that. And so the consensus around the locker room is move him to guard. Let Brock do what he's supposed to. He's bigger. He's athletic. He's showing you the capability that he can do that. You put him at his position that made him the money, got him an all consensus. You have his coach coming back there. You have the foundation for everything in the makings to who's going to be that guy that's going to be the Zach Martin that's going to transition right there. So it's like, he has all the frameworks right there. Let him go be that guy and excel right there. On top of that, with Brock Hoffman doing what he's doing, being smart, showing that he has the athleticism, the team is rallying behind him, and they believe in what he's doing. You have those 2 guys right there that can feed off each other. Then it's like, now let's go work on the outside end. So I'm going to go there.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one when you talk about how, because I like how Hoffman comes in and plays center. He's dirty, he's nasty, he's the type of guy that you want on your offensive line. And BB was all pro at, Kansas State, and that's what his position was, guard. But I'm also against switching back and forth as a young player. And he's going into his second year, plays center all this year, then they move him to guard all next year. I'm not a fan of switching
second
guys
rookie
up.
season.
Yeah, second rookie season. I'm not a big fan of that, but I love what Hoffman brings to the table. So I wouldn't be mad if Hoffman went into that center position. You solidified it with BB on one side, and then you got my guy Tyler Smith on the other. So
you want BB at guard?
I would put BB at guard. But that's all
I want to see.
That's back and
put him at guard.
I don't like that. Being young.
One thing that I would say that does help BB, if you put him at guard, is now he has to think less. He doesn't have to make the calls. He doesn't have to go to read anything. You just go out here and go be nasty and do what you do. You're replacing Zach Martin. And if I take BB, put him at guard where he has some natural ability to take the experience from being a center, now he's back over to guard, a little bit easier. Put Hoffman there. What are we talking about this team? You have money issues. You don't have enough draft capital to fill all your needs. You could potentially solve this right here and not have to use a draft pick or free agent capital and put it in other places, because Lord knows you got a bunch of holes you got to fill. So let's see what happens here.
Yeah, that's fine.
Hey, fun show as always.
Went fast.
Church, Trey Moore, Hek'ma Harrison, I'm Newy Scruggs. Thanks to Chris, Josh, Jazz, everybody's been a part of it here. Aristocrat Gaming, thank you for being the sponsor. Players Lounge brought to you on right here on DallasCowboys.com. We'll talk to you next week.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!